Let's do this thing.
Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
This is where.
Let's start. Sports fans, welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, the show. Good to hear you back on the air.
Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Football Friday as we get ready for a big weekend of football. We have to wait for the Bucs till Monday, but I'll be watching the rest of the NFL. We got a nice college slate as well, and my man IndyCar Tim is ready to go in our Dallas affiliate. What's up, Timmy? How you doing this morning?
Well, we had NFL football last night. We've got NFL football this weekend. We've got college football this weekend. Football is truly completely back now at this point, I feel.
That was kind of an ugly game last night. That was really like what happened to the Commodes? They were
ugly.
You didn't think so? I thought the Washington offense was just brutal, but maybe we'll give credit to maybe the Packers are just a really, really good football team now that they have Micah Parsons, your favorite player, and obviously they're a much better football team.
Well, okay, look. So first of all, we knew Washington was going to take a step back from what they were last year. All right.
Okay.
They weren't that good. That was an outlier. I think the Packers might be the best team in the NFC without effing Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons had zero impact on that game last night. What a colossal waste of money for the Packers. They did not need that.
I don't know if it was he
zero,
no impact.
Minimal impact. He got half a sack. So you mean without him being there with Jordan Love, that sack doesn't happen? No, it was going to happen without him. He got there after the fact. Then they gave him half a sack. It was ridiculous.
Okay, all right.
Get out of the league. I thought it was a masterclass by Matt LaFleur last night on coaching.
I was surprised at how ineffective Washington was offensively. I really was, and my parlay reflected that. So obviously, we're always tinged in our commentary by how our bets go, right? Which is why we probably shouldn't be betting. But we admit it freely here on the JP Peterson Show. We are biased, absolutely. I thought Washington would be much more, and it kind of struck me as one of those Thursday night games where the road team just is like, whatever, let's get out of here. We haven't really prepared that well. It just, I don't know. I saw nothing. Everybody's talking about the Commanders being, in the hunt for the NFC Championship. Some people have them picked to go to the Super Bowl. That looked like a Super Bowl team to you last night?
No, if they make the playoffs, it'll surprise me.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think they would take a step back necessarily, but another huge jump. Well, I guess they made it all the way to the championship game last year, so maybe it's going to be a step back for them. But I thought they'd be better. Now the Packers on the other side, very impressed with what I saw from Green Bay. Defensively, I'll disagree with you. I think Micah makes a little bit of a difference. But offensively, Jordan Love, I thought, played extremely well. I don't know if Matt LaFleur was dialing up great players or that Washington defense was just uninspiring. It looked very Buccaneers-esque with the middle of the field and the tight ends running wild. And the field, every time he threw down the field, guys were wide open. Lattimore clearly needs to hang it up. I mean, I'd definitely like to get Mike Evans' thoughts on what he saw from Lattimore last night for sure. That dude he's just terrible. He is terrible. And they went after him big time. They were like, okay, here we go. But anyway, an interesting game last night. I thought a little boring, but especially when my parlays were not going to pan out, bitches. All right, so we got lots to get to today. Scott Carter's going to join us at 10:30 from FloridaGators.com as we discuss what becomes a very big game for the University of Florida Gators. The Gators going to LSU at night, number 3 LSU. That seems like a rather tough go after losing a heartbreaker to USF and just being absolutely, your coach sucks, your team's terrible. I think Florida's better than that. And I think they're going to put up quite a fight, if not win the game against LSU. I could be wrong.
Wow.
I could be wrong. I don't know. I look at what Napier has done, did last year, and he just seems to kind of pull a rabbit out of the hat sometimes. Like one week they look terrible, the next week they look fantastic. And I think if LSU was a little bit overconfident, listen, this Florida team has talent. Don't get it wrong. This Florida team has talent. And I think a lot of people are dogging them because you lost to USF. USF is a really good football team. This just in. And, a lot of things did not go their way. Florida, they had 11 penalties in that game. You go back and watch that game. They were running the hell out of the football early on USF. USF could not stop the run. They got some chunk plays, but they had 11 penalties. And I'd say every damn one of them, they had 2 touchdowns called back early on. They made a lot of huge mistakes in that game. They could have very easily won that game, and no disrespect to USF at all, but they could have very easily won that game. And what would the narrative be? Oh, showdown instead it's like, oh, the Gators have no chance. I don't think that at all. I think they'll play a tough competitive game. I think they have a chance to win the game. I haven't seen the spread on this game. I'm going to guess though. I was going to say 7.5. Yeah, I was going to say 7.5. So 7 points. Yeah, I think that's a lot. Like it's a lot for a talented Gator football team. But obviously, listen, the elephant in the room is Billy Napier. Sometimes he just freezes, and I thought he froze in the final two minutes, and is watching that clock tick down with 2 timeouts in his back pocket. It just was very Bowles-esque, to be honest. And I just didn't get it. I didn't understand throwing on first down. When you got the ball back in the lead late in the game, when you're running twice. Well, I mean, a 3rd and 9, maybe I'll give you a little bit more of a pass, but on 1st and 10, you throw in a football. I mean, what are we doing? So I think it'll be interesting to talk to Scott Carter and see where the Gators are this week. I think they're going to be a little bit more formidable than people would think. And if I'm betting that game, and I probably won't, but if I was, I'd take an extra half point and bet the underdog in that.
Boy, I will tell you right now, JP, I disagree 1,000%. I don't think this game is close. I think LSU dominates early and often, and they may win by 3 touchdowns. I think last year was the outlier. LSU won 5 in a row over Florida before that last year, and I think they start a new streak this year.
Okay.
I don't see that Florida has anything and Billy Napier being a big part of that, to be honest with you, for LSU and the probable Heisman Trophy winner in Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah, he's really good. It's going to be interesting how this quarterback class shakes out. Of course, we'd already got Arch Manning going number 1 in all the 2026 mock drafts.
He probably won't even come out.
Yeah, right. Completely laughable.
Right.
But that being said, who is it? Who's it going to be? Who are the Dolphins? We put the Dolphins as a number 1. Who are they taking to replace Tua?
We got to talk about them at some point.
Wow, Mike McDaniel. Hello. Well, I watched. We're sitting there watching the Bucs game last week at Kingmakers with our good friend Mike Murphy from Murphy Auto Group. Shout out to Murphy Auto Group, Genesis of Tampa. Big game this week. I was hoping to have Michael on this week, but he's been in Vegas all week with the car show, so I get it. We'll get him on next week to either gloat about his Miami win or we'll rub salt in the wounds because that's what we do. And we'll get that game in just a little bit. That's a huge game. I got my USF shirt on, by the way, today. Very semi bullish these days. Very much my FSU and Bulls roots coming through. But who's going to be the number 1 pick? I don't know, but I think it's going to go to the Miami Dolphins, who looked absolutely. Anyway, we were watching the games, and Mike's a big Dolphin fan, so we were watching that Dolphin debacle, and that was that's in the first week. In the first week, you have a team that's just basically capitulated, and I don't know where the F Tua was throwing the ball, except to the other team a lot. That looked like a team that hadn't practiced all year.
He's been concussed so many times he can't remember who he plays for. He was just throwing the ball to somebody.
Yeah, and I've never been one of those people that think the Dolphins are good. I actually saw I can't remember who it was, but there was some pundit. Some pundit was on, I think it's CBS Sportsline. saying he believes the Dolphins are going to win the Super Bowl. I was like, what? They're going to be in the shot. What's your bold prediction?
On that right now, you will be a rich man come February.
He's like, what's your bold prediction? I think the Dolphins are going to be a big surprise. I'm like, oh yeah, they're going to be a big surprise, all right. Heading the other direction. I've never been. I like Tua as a person, to be honest with you. I think he's a winner. I like the way he handles his business. But I just don't think he's an NFL quarterback, especially now as beaten up as he's been, and he can't survive a whole season. And when he goes down, the whole offense is kind of predicated on his arm and his anticipation in that passing game. And once that goes away, you don't have a whole lot left. And the defense clearly is not very good either. But
he's just your typical Alabama quarterback. They just does not translate to the NFL. If you want to call Jalen Hurts an Alabama quarterback, that's fine. He's the outlier, clearly.
Who got benched for Tua? Who got benched for Tua? Which was the right move. Clearly, that was the right move. I mean, but I think Jalen Hurts is a bit of an outlier because he really developed since he left Alabama and really became a much better quarterback. Yeah, much better quarterback so it'll be interesting. But I'd say right now, if I had to pick one, I'd say Nussmeier is probably the leader as far as the number one overall pick to go to Miami.
I mean, Sellers is going to be up there. Lenore
and play for John Gruden.
There you go.
That's an even better lottery. Where's Gruden coaching next year?
Okay, Florida? Number one, if Gruden goes to Miami, and look, I love Mike McDaniel. I think Mike McDaniel's awesome. I want him to be a great head coach. It ain't happening in Miami. It ain't happening. If Gruden goes to Miami, the first move he should make, other than going and finding a quarterback, is changing the damn uniforms back to the old ones. Those new uniforms are ridiculous.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. As a Dolphin fan from my youth who watched the 17-0 season from the third deck at the Orange Bowl as it shook like an earthquake. Dad, is this supposed to be happening? Yeah, it's fun.
Dad, I'm scared.
There's 47,000 tons of metric steel in this thing. It's not going anywhere. My dad was a civil engineer, and when he told me something was good structurally, I was like, okay, we even though the upper deck is like swaying like it's an 8.5 magnitude, and you're like, oh God, Dad, is this cool? Yeah, it's fine. 8.17 miles. I'm like, good, all right, good, we're good. But anyway, the Dolphins haven't won shit since they left the Orange Bowl and put on those terrible uniforms. They're just like, to me, the epitome. They fit the culture of the town so well.
Sure.
They're like a Maserati with a Camry engine, right? Or I should say a Corolla engine. Some of the Camrys can go. Yeah. It's like a with a Yugo engine. It's all flash and dash.
Knows what a Yugo is, JP, except for me and you.
Yeah, a Pinto, Yugo, whatever. Take your pick. They still make Yugos?
No. Come on. Hey, you know what you call a four-door Yugo? A Wego.
Nicely done. No, they fit Miami. It's like an LA Rams wannabe, right? That's like an LA wannabe. The city is and the team is. And it's just so Miami. So Miami. Anyway, I don't know how we got on that tangent, but so let's get to the Buccaneers, shall we? Monday Night Football coming up with the Texans. Baker and Bowles talked yesterday, and not only were Godwin and Wirfs on the practice field yesterday, but Bowles says they're both in play to play on Monday night. See, this is the thing, and we remember when Wirfs went down. Everybody, oh my God, they screwed it up. They screwed up the medicals. Why didn't they have surgery sooner? Blah, 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 blah. They don't know what, and he's going to be out for half the season now. And I'm like, can we just wait? Can we just wait and see what happens? And listen, I'm as concerned about Wirfs as anybody. He's the one who said we have some bone-on-bone issues. And I'm like, that is never good. And I don't know if he misspoke about that or, how severe it is, and nobody knows. Like, we don't know. As far as Godwin goes, I mean, we have not seen Godwin run. Like, we haven't even seen him out there, and all of a sudden, okay, he's back at practice and he's in play. Like, I don't know what happened like over the off season, if they got new security or there's a new, this whole this guy Beastline is not only the new game manager, but he is the game security chief as well. Where we got no sniff of this new offensive line, and now suddenly Wirfs and Godwin are in play to play on Tuesday or on Monday night, week 2. I mean, I don't know how serious Bowles was being, and maybe that's some subterfuge in itself. I don't know. We don't know. Any assumptions we're making about injuries, frankly, are ridiculous, and I'm as guilty as anybody.
Yeah.
You just don't know because we don't know. And even if we don't see, maybe Godwin has been running in the indoor facility and they didn't want to let the Texans know that he was that close. No, okay. I guess that's a win, from a subterfuge standpoint. And the same about Wirfs. I mean, these guys are game changers. There's no question about it. So their availability, whether the Texans don't know, it changes the way they prepare for the team. Absolutely. So if you can keep it a secret, why not?
If either one of those guys, if one or both of these guys plays, is even active for Monday night, that would be one of the greatest covert clandestine operations in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
By the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
It would be amazing.
I totally agree. So they're in play, I guess. And, Gedeke missed practice yesterday, has a foot injury. So Charlie Heck was in his spot. So poor Charlie Heck. I'm like, is he going to play? I'm a little scared that are they really going to let him play? If they have to shuffle the entire offensive line, how bad is this guy? So
they're going to shift it all again and leave him out again somehow.
Well, listen, at this point, though, what is entirely possible, which really scares the hell out of me, is that Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson will be rushing against Graham Barton and Charlie Heck. Yeah, that is not something I'm interested in seeing. Not something I'm not saying that's happening, but at this point, it's a possibility. Wirfs doesn't play and Gedeke doesn't play because he's got a foot injury. Now, Gedeke finished the game on that foot. So, if you get stepped on, it gets really, really sore, obviously. Yeah. And it becomes kind of a pain tolerance thing, and nobody, I'm sure, tolerates pain more than that guy, the glass eater. So if he can go, he'll go. So, there's a possibility it could be Graham Barton and Charlie Heck. There's a possibility it could be Tristan Wirfs and Luke Gedeke.
Yeah.
I mean, how the hell does that change the game? Immensely. That's why we say this all the time. This is a week-to-week league. It's a week-to-week league. And hell, it's quarter to quarter sometimes because these coaches are so good at attacking weaknesses. If you have a backup player that is not up to snuff, you are going to get exposed and quickly. And I think that's why they made the change with Graham Barton last week because they were afraid of what might happen with Charlie Heck. So, listen, that is going to go a long way to determine how this game shakes out because if Baker Mayfield is running for his life and they can't run the football, obviously, it's going to be really tough to win. And listen, I was concerned about the run game when we saw it in Pittsburgh in the preseason. I would go back and looked at the tape. I was a little bit more encouraged, but still there wasn't enough production in the run game. When Bucky's running for 2.5 yards carry, that's not good enough. The offensive line's not doing their job. So against this group, which is better than what we saw last week immensely, that's going to be tough. So I'm concerned if the Bucs can run the football. I'm concerned if both of these tackles are hurt, in terms of Wirfs and Gedeke. So there's a lot in play now in terms of injury that we're going to have to sort out. There's some good news. Ben Morrison is trending in the right direction. I think a lot of people would like to see him get on the field instead of Jamel Dean, who Bowles said actually had a pretty good game in week 1. But I don't think anybody really trusts Jamel much anymore. And we've got to get some turnovers in this secondary. Obviously week 1, all the talk about turnovers last week, and here you go. Penix throws you 3 and you don't catch any of them. I mean, it's just, my Lord. I mean, how it's as a Buccaneer fan watching these games and watching these corners and every just drop freaking interception after interception is just maddening. And it's clearly in their head at this point. But, you would think that with a new $48 million contract, Zion could buy some gloves that work.
Well, and it's not just him, obviously, you mentioned. But, yeah, I don't know. And this is supposed to be Bowles' strong point, right?
Right.
Like, it's supposed to be where he excels is in teaching your guys to get turnovers.
Right.
And maybe if Morrison can play, he'll show these guys how to do it as a rookie. I don't know. My biggest concern is C.J. Stroud and how on earth you're going to get to him and stop him. In case everybody forgot, the last time these two teams played back in 2023, C.J. Stroud threw for 5 touchdowns and 470 yards. In a 39-37 Texans win.
That was a classic Bowles zone defense give up in the last minute of the team. And we go down, but Baker goes down and it puts him ahead. And CJ Stroud comes back in like 3 throws and it's over. Tank Dell's in the end zone. I'm like, and we're just, we're 12 yards off, cover 2, 12 yards, know where everybody is, know where the holes are. Just go ahead. No pass rush. Just right down the field. Yeah, that was one of those things, one of those games where you're just like, this is so awful to watch. I'd rather you send 7 and just get it over quick one way or the other than that stuff. It just drives me bananas. But as we all know, Timmy, that was a very different Texans offense.
Oh,
that was a very different Texans
Bobby
offense.
Slowick is gone.
We haven't seen a remnant of that for now a year in one game because it wasn't there last week either.
Nope.
And the Rams shut them down. It's weird. And, listen, and you go back to 23, as you mentioned, Slowick, a really good offensive line to me that was gutted the next year, was terrible last year with injuries and trades. And it doesn't look like they've improved this year. So, and some quarterbacks, listen, any quarterback with professional accuracy and velocity, and Stroud has that in a good pocket with some decent receivers, is going to tear you up. Yeah. You got to get, we all know this is nothing new. You got to get pressure on the quarterback. And that remains to be seen. I thought Reddick played well. I thought Yaya Diaby played well. I thought who I thought really played well was Penix. I thought Penix did great things under pressure. He got the ball out quickly to the right guys. He played really well. And that's why I think he's going to be a good quarterback in this league. Right. Now, I think Stroud is a good quarterback too, although he needs to reprove that to me and I think a lot of other people. But I'd like to see the pass rush, especially against this bad offensive line. You need to come out of this game with 4 or 5 sacks. Not pressures, not blah, blah, blah. I want to see the quarterback on the ground. I want the quarterback to go down and go down hard. And if we don't see that, it's going to be tough for the Bucs to win. So I said this yesterday, and I'll repeat it right now. I think the Bucs win this game 17-13. I think they win it 17-13. It's going to be a low-scoring game. The Bucs win it, holding on for dear life. And yeah, wow. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and the Bucs win it. And we'll see. Hopefully Chase McLaughlin gets back because you can't be missing field goals or extra points in this particular game because I think it's going to be very, as I said, low scoring, and every kick, every extra point is going to be at a premium. I've got
a little different scenario rolling out here, JP.
What do you got?
I've got CJ Stroud getting injured early in the second quarter.
CJ's getting injured. You're hoping for an injury.
I'm not hoping. This is what I'm saying might happen. CJ Stroud goes out, nothing major, but he doesn't come back. Davis Mills throws a couple of touchdown passes, and then he gets hurt.
Davis Mills, we're hurting 2 quarterbacks?
Yeah, Davis, and then the emergency quarterback, who is Graham Mertz. Comes into the game, stinks it up. Buccaneers come back from 3 touchdowns behind in the fourth quarter and win 28-21.
Really?
There you go.
Graham Mertz. You have you been going to NFL script writing school?
A part of it, JP. I help write the scripts. What are you talking about?
I mean, I'm a little that sounded a little bit very detailed. Very detailed. I like that though. Gator fans are loving that. It's like, yes, bring back Gator. Get Graham, somebody get him a win. All right, so we'll see. We'll see what happens this week. And in listening to Baker yesterday, he kind of was. I thought it was interesting the way he talked about Josh Grisard and said he was very calm in the 2-minute situation. The all that type of the play calls. He kind of liked exactly where they're at with that. Offensively, they did enough that they win. They just didn't. I said this earlier in the week. They had 56 plays. That's 2 games in a row where they've had less than 60 plays offensively. 53, I believe, against Washington in the playoff, and then 56 in this game. And allowing 10 more minutes possession by the other team. If your strength on your team is your offense, and that is here for the Buccaneers, that is not a winning formula. It is not a winning formula. So the defense has got to get off the field, and the offense needs to possess it more for sure. Good morning to you, Kenneth McCleary. I want to say hello to all the folks. Christopher Cole, Doug Batista. Good morning to all the Petermans. Rick chiming in this morning says, if the Gators win, will they drop in the polls?
Well, they're not in the polls right now, so nowhere to go but up.
Well, I know one poll that they're still in. What's her name?
Did she get a vote? Haley Steinfeld, whatever.
Haley.
Did she vote? Do you think she votes?
Well, they didn't take it away from her this week, did they?
I don't think so.
How does that? I mean, did we talk about that? I know we talked about it on Monday, or was it Tuesday? But
Haley Sawyer. Can they do that like in the middle of the season? They're just going to take away your voting privileges. They have to replace you with somebody, right?
Well, replace them with somebody who cares.
Yeah.
I mean, her interview was so bad. It was, and it was so damning. I feel honestly, I feel bad because listen, it is what it is. This is not, according to her, it doesn't really matter that much. And I don't want to get into my process. Well, clearly, you mean like the process where you don't look at who actually wins the games? Like, you probably shouldn't get into that process because people would get even more angry. But the flippancy of which she spoke of this was, to me, infuriating. I actually, back in 1997, I was working in North Carolina. I was asked to be an AP voter, and that back then we had to call it in to somebody by noon. I think it was noon or 10 o'clock the next day. And I would look at the feeds and all the highlights of all the games after I got off the 11 o'clock news and make I took it very seriously. And clearly she does not. And that's a shame. And it should be given to somebody who cares. And it's not about gender, but I know there was probably a lot of female reporters that were cringing watching that interview. It's like, I really appreciate everybody's input on social media, but there's a lot of people voting for it. And it doesn't really matter because there's so many people voting. So it kind of evens out anyway. So, oh my God.
Wow.
Not good, Haley. Be better. We all need to be better.
Yeah. So my words for her will be even more harsh after I just realized she's not even cute. Like if she was cute, I'd excuse a little bit of it, but she's not.
Thank you for your sexist input today, but please continue.
Just saying. Can excuse a lot of it. Hey JP, we want an update on Yugo?
Yes.
Okay, for those that don't know, the Yugo was a car that sold for not even $4,000 in the US from like 85 to 92. All right, this was it. $3,900 is all you
look
can
at
buy
that baby. Look at that stylish motherfucker. Look at that thing right there.
And JP, I have found out.
Kind of looks a little bit like the modern day G-Wagon, doesn't it?
Through my investigative reporting while we were on the air just now, 30 seconds ago, they are trying to bring back the Yugo, and this is the new prototype for the Yugo.
Nice. That's sharp. I like that.
I like that.
That's nice.
Still probably wouldn't drive one.
One tire, $39.90 now.
Yeah,
is that what you?
I don't know what
$39.90.
But
go get yourself a Genesis GV80. That's what you need. That's a beautiful, beautiful car. Genesis of Tampa, by the way. Go check them out this weekend. Tell them JP sent you. Gorgeous cars. All right, let me get a couple more comments in here. Sergio Belcher says, "Good morning, gents. What a difference a guy like Micah Parsons makes on a team with only his second start with them. He turns a defense into a Super Bowl defense. Why didn't the Bucs go after him?"
What are you watching, Sergio? We watched different games last night, unless you're just trolling me, because that's ridiculous, sir. You did not watch football.
Getting pressure. He got a holding call. Come on. Be a
up.
little bit of objective. Just because he's not cute, are you going to run him down too?
I don't know if he's cute. I don't judge men. I mean, Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise are cute. That's about as far as I go.
Louis in the Frozen Pirate Pod says, "I think it could be a bluff just to throw the Houston Texans off what Bowles said yesterday." I think, obviously I think you're right, but it's really not Bowles' way. He's not he doesn't do that stuff.
No, if you have to resort to trying to trick your opponent the week before a game, then you're probably focused on the wrong things.
Right. Michael LaRue says, Billy Napier said Brendan Bett won't be suspended for spitting on a USF player since he needs him available to help beat LSU and save his job. Well, at least I know he didn't say that, but if he did, at least he'd be being honest. Right. As the great Bobby Bowden used to once said about Sebastian Janikowski when he broke curfew the night before a big game. There's a lot of ways to punish a player. I know all you Gators out there want me to throw him off the team. I'm not going to hurt our fan base and everybody else. We'll punish him. He'll get punished, but he's going to be kicking.
He's right.
He's right.
And
I don't blame him. There's a lot of ways to punish a player. Who else? Who wants him suspended? Every LSU fan and every FSU fan. Anybody who hates the Gators wants him suspended. But Bobby's absolutely right. You're punishing the team and everybody else. It's a big game. So I don't know. We could debate that. But anyway, let's welcome in our good friend Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com to break down this what's going to be, I think, a very interesting and fun game. Scotty, good morning to you, my friend. Thanks for joining us. I shocked my partner Tim here when I said I think the Gators are going to be really competitive and I think they might just win this game and shock the world. So am I crazy?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it go that way, JP. You kind of write off a team after a bad loss, and then they play inspired the next week. And I've seen that with Billy Napier's bunch. Obviously, last year when they got killed out at Texas, and they're 4-5, and they come back home and play LSU, and they win, and then it kind of ignited a late season run. I'm kind of of two camps on this. I think it's going to go the way that you think it will. I do think that they can play close, or they're just going to get thumped. I don't think there's going to be middle ground in this one. That's just kind of my sense of it. I think we'll know early in the game, but I'm leaning toward them playing a good game, and I don't know if they can win. I'm not expecting them to win, but I don't think they're going to go out there and just play poorly and get blown out 45-7. But if it happens that way, it won't surprise me. But I'm kind of leaning toward them keeping it a close game.
Yeah, and it just for the reasons that you just stated last year, what we saw with Napier's team. And I think that's like last year, we saw Florida State took some bad losses early, and that team just quit. They quit on Norvell. They quit on each other. They just quit. So, and it was just a bad group with no leadership, and the culture was really, really bad. I don't sense that at Florida at all. I don't sense, I know Billy's under a lot of pressure, but I sense that these guys like playing for him. They're not going to quit on him. And this USF loss, which we'll talk a little bit about it, that's a good USF team first and foremost. But I don't think it breaks him. I think it pisses him off. Am I right?
No, I think you're right. I've been around the team some this week, and you can tell they're stilled by a little bit of what happened where they are. They're facing a lot of outside criticism. And one of Billy Napier's strengths by far is I think he knows how to galvanize a locker room. He's built good culture where a coach can do that. And again, we have recent history to draw upon here with last season. So that is without question. I don't think it's an issue. He was asked this week specifically, do you sense that you could be losing the locker room or there could be some fraction there? He says that will not happen. We've got good guys in the building. We've got good guys on this roster. They're not gonna turn it in 2 games into the season. So we'll just see how that plays out as they go in further to the season. But as of right now, I don't view that as a concern. I don't think Billy Napier views that as a concern. And again, I do think that they did some soul searching this week, guys. Which you hate to have that happen 2 weeks in, but after an off season where there was so much positivity, even Billy, he voiced a different kind of confidence than we've seen him at Florida. You could tell he really likes his team and believes in the team. And I just think that they played a bad game. They made too many mistakes. And I still think DJ Lagway is still working in back to being what we saw last year. He's not there yet.
Yeah. And, when I went back and watched that game, I saw a Florida team that was, first of all, running the ball extremely well early on in the game, and they kind of got away from it. I saw them make a lot of mistakes. They have at least 2 touchdowns called back, right? 2 touchdowns called back, 11 penalties. Yeah. 11 penalties, and it seemed like every one of them came at a really bad time. So, clearly Florida could have won this game easily, and that's no knock on USF. They could have won this game, and then the narrative would be totally different. So that's why this is a good football team. I think it's got a ton of talent. I would agree with you with Lagway, but let's go back and what did we learn from that USF game? What did Florida learn? What did you see in that game that bothered you and some of the stuff that you liked?
Well, I think the thing that probably concerned most people, most Florida fans the most was that drive before USF's winning drive. Yeah. And you get the ball back and they only take 27 seconds off the clock. And, I'm not a coach, but I know that is an area where, okay, you got a 1-point lead. You've got to run time off the clock or at least force USF to burn their timeouts. Right. And, of course, the big thing is DJ evidently called an audible there on that pass play that fell incomplete. So that obviously stops the clock right away, plays into USF's hand perfectly. And so that's situational awareness that Lagway has to know better, but also he's got to be – before he ever goes out on the field to take that huddle, he has to know that from his coaches. Look, do not throw on this play. So, it's easy to pick apart that. It is. And there's not really much that Billy Napier can run from that criticism. And then, of course, you had the costly penalty by Brendan Bett, just a bonehead play. And when you preach about accountability and discipline and you talk about your team having that and then they do that, it just doesn't reflect well. I just think the kid – it's funny, JP, you just never know about these guys, right? Like we talked to Brendan Bett last week, Wednesday night, 3 nights before the game, and he came across as very polished, just a good guy engaging with the reporters. I remember going over to the SID and saying, man, he's probably one of the best 5 guys on the team for the media. And then he goes out and makes that. So you just never know. It was just a bonehead play. As far as the good, in that game, let's be honest, there wasn't much good from Florida's point because I think it was a disjointed performance in a lot of ways. After no penalties against LIU, you commit 11. And they were able to move the ball, but they couldn't punch it in the end zone in the red zone. I think Trey Smack at least showed he recovered from that 2 of 5 performance in the opener. He made all 3 of his kicks, but obviously they wanted touchdowns there. So it's just one of those performances, as Jake Slaughter, the starting center, said, man, it leaves one of those tastes that you just cannot wait to get out of your mouth.
Which plays into this game against LSU. Timmy, you want to get in here?
No, again, you guys are both a little more, I think, optimistic about the Gators' ability to rebound. And I know it's early in the season. And like you said earlier, Scott, you're not going to get all disgruntled and disjointed after, this early in the season. But, man, I just think LSU, I don't know that they have anything for LSU. That offensive line is stout. Nussmeier's playing the best football of his career, probably your Heisman, favorite right now. But just the way I've seen the Gators react defensively now, man, I don't know. I just don't know. And I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think 2 touchdowns, about 28-14, something like that, I think is what I'm thinking.
Okay. All right. Scotty, what did you learn about USF? What were your thoughts on what you saw from them?
Well, a couple of things really stuck out to me. First of all, they play kind of what I call reckless abandon. That defense, man, they get after it. I don't, if I were to go down their roster compared to Florida's, I'm still picking Florida's roster.
Yeah,
But I thought the way they played with that edge that teams can erase some of the bridge between a talent gap, and they played with that. And that's just not only the players, that's also good coaching. And I thought I could tell Alex Golish, this guy's an up and comer. I just thought he managed that game exactly the way he needed to.
Yeah.
And the disparity there between how Florida managed and USF was managed, it was a spotlight on it by the end result. And so Golish, I thought, did a really good job. And of course, everything around USF starts with Byron Brown. And I wasn't too impressed early. It took him a while to get going, but when he had to make plays, he made them, and he looked like the player that he was before his injury. And I'm really curious. I mean, to me, that Miami game with them this weekend, that's one of the more interesting games because if they win that game, man, I mean, USF's going to be looked at in a totally different light than they already are after their upsets of Boise State and Florida. So they've got confidence. I think they've got good coaching. I think, it's been a good week down there, man, with Rob Higgins taking over as AD. I thought that was an excellent choice. So they got some momentum right now. Still be interested to see if they can carry it,
Well, this week at Miami obviously is going to be a big test, but I think they can go in there and be very competitive. Again, 17.5 points, I think, is a ridiculous spread. This is just – it's not the same old South Florida. They've completely changed their defense, their defensive line. They got 5 new guys in there, most of them seniors. They're bigger. They have more depth, and it allows their skill position players to actually play now. Those 2 linebackers are as good as you'll find, but when you're playing behind a defensive line that can't keep linemen off you, you can't play. And now they can. Now they can run, they can hit. Same with the secondary, and it's completely changed the look of that defense. So I think they'll keep it close with Miami. I hammered USF last week in the 18.5, which was very disrespectful. But I'm gonna do it again this week. Scott Carter joining us here for the G's Law Group Gator Report. DJ Lagway, you mentioned him. I mean, obviously he looks a little heavy. I didn't know if he was lining up at D line or O line this week, but has he just not had time to condition his body, and that tells me maybe he's not as sharp in his passing skills as ready. Has he just not been able to practice a whole lot? I mean, that's been the word, but we kind of saw that in the game.
No, that was exactly what happened. He dealt with injury in the spring, and then I thought right after SEC Media Days in July, just on a team run, he strained a calf, and that basically sidelined him again all through camp until about, I think it was 12 days before the opener, before he took his first 11-on-11 snaps in camp. So, you can't run, you can't condition the way you need to as a college football player. So I think we're seeing him kind of get into shape on the job here. And I think he is a little slow compared to what we saw at the end of last season. Billy Napier was very optimistic about DJ's improvement in practice this week. He's not concerned by it at all. Obviously, it's getting a lot of attention by the fans and the media, rightfully so, because we saw what he looks like when he's in shape and making plays. And he hasn't been horrible, guys. I don't want to say that at all.
No,
he just looks rusty. I mean, he looks like a guy who hasn't been able to do everything that he needed to do in his off-season preparation, and it showed because as you guys know, it's hard to do that in games.
Yep.
And so I think I would expect him to be a little better this week. I think the big thing with the offense is just they haven't been able to develop any consistent rhythm. Even in the LIU game, it was a little bit disjointed at times. I think they're looking to find some rhythm there, and of course, DJ is going to be the guy at the wheel of that, and he's got to make the right decisions. And if you're going to call off a play and choose another one, make sure it's a smart one.
Scott, you think the offense will be a little more aggressive this way? I thought that kind of hurt them against USF. They didn't have any aggressiveness on offense, especially on the late downs. Do you expect that to change against LSU, especially being in Baton Rouge?
I would hope so, because I think that's something that they really did well last year with DJ. We haven't seen him throw down the field, nearly as much so far in the first 2 games, and that was such a big part of their identity on offense last season. So, I mean, they're going to always have to run the ball to help him out, and they have the guy to do that, Jaden Ball and Jacoby Jackson.
Yeah,
but even they got a little bit away from those guys against USF when it was working. So, and some of that has to go to USF. I know they did make some defensive adjustments, but that's part of this chess match. I mean, you have to be prepared for those. And I think for Florida, if it doesn't have some of DJ downfield, I just don't know if they can be the offense that we think they are.
And Tampa's own Trey Wilson, coming off injuries, looked fantastic. I think he looks explosive, looks fast. He had the touchdown on the slant, had some other opportunities. Yeah, he's your guy, right? Your deep threat.
I mean, Trey is certainly one of them. I think the freshman Vernell Brown is really the guy who's emerged as maybe their most dangerous playmaker early. Even his punt return last week, that really woke up Florida and the fans at the Swamp, and they went on that go-ahead score there. But they also have, J. Michael Sturdivant. They've got, they've still been waiting on Dallas Wilson to get healthy. He's not going to be ready for this game. He's a big-time playmaker down the field. So the options are there, guys. It's just that, I think they've got to find a way to use them more and call some things in that regard, because DJ, like I said, he looks really good on those downfield throws when he's on.
Any injuries to worry about this week for Florida?
I mean, the big news this week is they're getting the guy back, Caleb Banks, the defensive lineman.
Wow.
He's missed the first 2 games. This guy's a potential high-round draft pick. So getting him back, I think, will be huge, because they're going to have to put some pressure on Nussmeier. They sacked him 6 times last year at the Swamp. I thought that was a big part of the outcome in that game, and they've only got 2 sacks in their first 2 games. So having him back inside to push that pocket should have Tyreek Sapp and George Gums Jr. on the outside. And otherwise, nothing too concerning coming out of the USF game. Nothing. LJ McCray, he had a broken foot. He made his first appearance last week. He played the first half, then I guess he broke his foot injury, had to have surgery. So he's out for an extended period of time. So it's almost like a swap there. You're trading out the prospect, you're getting back the veterans. So it's kind of a wash for the Gators in that regard.
All right, Scotty, enjoy your time in Baton Rouge. You're heading over there, right? Later today? Yeah,
heading over this afternoon and find some good gumbo or something tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's there. It's there.
Oh, no doubt. And it's always my favorite place to pull up to, because there's nowhere else in the SEC like LSU, man. Those fans, games, they just party, man.
They still have the Tiger in the cage right outside the stadium?
Yeah, Mike the Tiger. He's still out there.
Wow.
Just a great atmosphere for college football. And, obviously they're third ranked. So they've already announced a sellout. Going to be 102,000 there. And the Gators are going to have to, as we talked earlier, they're going to have to put on their best performance of the season to win. Can they do it? I think they have the talent. But is everything working in rhythm right now for it to happen? That's what we're waiting to see.
Yeah. All right. It's going to be a big one, Scotty. Thank you for your time. As always, you can find all of Scott's work at floridagators.com and on Twitter at Gator. What is it? Gator Scott?
At Gator Scott. Yep. So.
At Gator Scott. All right. Thanks, partner.
Right.
Appreciate you. All right.
See you, fellas.
It's going to, so we got USF Miami at 4:30, and that's going to bleed into a little bit of a UF LSU. What is it? Is that a 7:30 game or 7 o'clock?
That game is.
We need schedule.
Please hold
For
the next available representative.
And I'll be at Wrigley Field starting at 2:20. We got a 2:20 start.
Who are they playing?
The Rays. The Cubs and the Rays. I'll be at that game on Saturday as I take off for Chicago today. See my son Cullen. Looking forward to that.
Oh, nice.
And then we'll catch them as soon as the Rays and Cubs are done. We'll go to a sports bar and watch USF
7:30.
Miami.
7:30.
7:30. Okay, good. Yeah. Then we'll watch that bleed right into Florida and LSU. That's a good day. It's a good day. That's a good day of sports right there in the Chicago metro area. So looking forward to that.
Awesome.
All right, let's take a quick break here. We'll come back on the other side, get into some of your comments, a little bit more Bucs and Titans preview. We got some more information on that as well. And who knows what else we're going to – oh, and we have a name. We have a name of the shooter.
Yep.
We'll give that to you as well and some information on that. We're brought to you by the great folks at the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Get your free consultation. Go to jeeveslawgroup.com. Non-attorney spokesman, offices Tampa and St. Pete. And we're also brought to you by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa. I mentioned them earlier. If you're looking for a new car, folks, or a used car, head on over to Genesis of Tampa. They've got some great Genesis cars over there, and we tell you about the value all the time. It's just as good, if not better, as all these luxury brands that are so much more expensive. The value you get for a Genesis car is insane. Plus, you get the 4 years of covered maintenance, and you get the great Genesis of Tampa valet service, where they will bring you a loaner car, pick up your car, service it, and bring it right back to you. Great folks over there at Genesis of Tampa. Quick break. Back on the other side. Stay with us.
Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park, so free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucs and Rays play. We'll see you there. Are you looking to renovate your home, rebuild after the hurricanes, or build your dream home from scratch? Well, let me tell you about my friend Jason Fawcett and On-Site Construction. They have over 1,450 satisfied clients, 25 years of experience, over 500 designs, and a talented team of over 40 construction professionals. They believe building something exceptional begins by truly focusing on all the details, even the smallest ones. We understand that construction can be a daunting process, and we're here to make it as smooth and stress-free as possible. Quality is non-negotiable at On-Site Construction. We use the finest materials, employ the most skilled tradespeople, and adhere to the highest industry standards to deliver a product we're proud of and that you're going to love. Our project management is meticulous with a focus on completing projects on time and on budget. Your happiness is our primary driver. So give us a call at 813-579-5789 or check out our incredible website at onsiteconstructionfl.com. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine, and DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine, and DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Riveters. I was over there yesterday, the official sports bar and grill.
I'm jealous.
The JP Peterson Show. Yeah. Oh, the wings were so good. So, yeah, my lovely niece was in town, Paris, who flies for American Airlines. Flight attendant, not pilot, but probably better than some of the pilots, evidently.
They fly planes now in America?
They do. And vote in the AP poll. Can you imagine that?
Maybe they shouldn't do that.
Welcome to the sexist JP Peterson Show. No, we love women. We love women.
Definitely.
Across the board. One in particular, like the real love. Anyway, yeah, so we went over to Riveters and I had some of the wings. And that I'm telling you, the wings are fantastic, the way they make them. And then they give you the buffalo sauce and the homemade blue cheese, and you just dunk them, and it's so good. It's so good. And then we kind of split some wings in a Reuben sandwich.
Oh, I love a Reuben, man. I love a Reuben.
The Reuben is such an underrated sandwich with the corned beef and the sauerkraut and the Swiss cheese and the Thousand Island dressing. Are you kidding me? It's a beautiful thing.
A Reuben with pastrami instead of corned beef.
Isn't pastrami and corned beef the same thing?
No, they are not.
What? It is.
No, it's not the same thing. It's not
pastrami?
even.
Really? They're
No.
not, because they really taste similar to me.
No.
I always thought they were the same. What's the difference?
The pastrami is like peppered. It's got more spices on it.
So does corned beef.
Oh, they're different. I'm telling you, they're not. They don't even look the same, JP.
All right. What are you talking about? Corned beef? They do.
They look the same.
They're sliced. I don't know. So is a Reuben pastrami or corned beef?
Corned beef.
Okay. But I like pastrami too on my Reuben. Either one.
According to the internet,
there we go.
corned beef is made from the leaner flat brisket. Pastrami is made with point brisket, which contains more marbling and more fat. It's also made with other cuts of beef, such as a lean shoulder cut or a navel beef belly, which comes from a juicy selection just below the ribs. And then the spicing and the curing is all different too. So,
really, I thought they were very similar. Love them both.
Both, but I prefer pastrami.
On your Reubens, okay.
Yeah.
Head Highswell is weighing in, says corned beef equals peppercorns.
Yeah, it's got peppercorns in it too.
Yeah, they do. And pastrami doesn't.
It does.
Okay.
Or it can.
All right. Either one is good with me, as long as you get the Thousand Island dressing and the sauerkraut, which is amazing. You got to have the sauerkraut. Got to have it. Although my niece said, I'll put that on the side. I'm like, you don't know what you're missing.
Oh,
love the sauerkraut. Yeezy says Micah looked great last night on a pitch count. Tim, he's a difference maker. Stop drinking Jerry's Kool-Aid. He's overpaid, but you can't deny his impact. Oh,
I will. I just did. Overrated.
I'm with Yeezy on this one. I don't think he was worth the money. I agree with you, but I'm not going to share. I'm not going to share that. I think he made an impact on the game the other night.
Minimal.
Okay. Daniel says that's a different team. That's not the same USF. We need to take care of business versus a very good USF team.
Yeah.
Listen, if Miami goes into this thinking that this is going to be an easy game, they're going to get the same thing the Gators got. And Miami has Florida the next week.
Mm-hmm.
So are they looking ahead to the Gators? They better not be. I think this last week, if Boise's Boise State didn't wake you up. That did. Now, I think Miami probably is a little better than Florida. I think it's close. I think they're both very talented teams, and that's going to be one hell of a game as well. It's for USF to win all three of these games is a really, really tough ask. Can they do it? Yeah. I mean, they can, but I think it's a really, really tough ask. But here's the thing about Miami. They always lose a game that they're supposed to win, if not 2 a year. Right. And this one really looks like that game. It really looks like that game. It's a bit of a trap game. They beat Notre Dame. They have a cookie. Here comes USF, and we're looking ahead to Florida. Now, if USF had lost last week, they'd definitely be overlooking them, but they didn't. So, and Cristobal just cannot be trusted. He cannot be trusted with a good team. So, I love the Bulls and the points, obviously, but I think they have a shot to win the game. Now, listen, this triumvirate of receivers that Miami brought in, Malachi Toney, the freshman, looks really, really good. And then CJ Daniels, who came from LSU, is one of only 2 receivers that has over 2,500 yards and 20 touchdowns in college football. And that one-handed catch that he made against Notre Dame, to me, was the game changer. Because if he doesn't catch that ball, it's an interception in the red zone. It could be a 14-point swing. And that was just an insane catch. So, hey, listen, Carson Beck is a good quarterback, and he could throw the ball downfield. He's played in big games. He's got 3 really good receivers and a great offensive line in front of him. Miami is super talented. But if they make the same mistakes that Florida did, 11 penalties in crucial situations, this scrappy USF team will get up on you. They will get up on you. And they're way more talented than people think. And Byron Brown is a difference maker. So it'll be interesting. As we heard yesterday from our boy, Danny Boy Kane, and it's going to be a packed house. It is a sold-out stadium. I don't know how many USF fans will be there, but I'm guessing probably at least 10 to 15,000, maybe more. But I think it's a great opportunity for them to get a win over a number 5 team and pad that resume. And the thing for Goalish right now is whatever happens in Miami, you are now going to be expected to win the American. And I think that's fair. But that you should, and I know they do. They embrace those expectations. They embrace them. So,
yep.
Got my USF shirt on. I'll be rooting for them. All right. So I mentioned news conference this morning, the Charlie Kirk assassination, which I still absolutely cannot believe what I've seen on social media as far as people celebrating this. And it's just
people are getting fired. People are losing their jobs. Just like always do with stuff like this. When are people going to learn?
Like, it's scary though. There's always going to be lunatic fringe, on both sides. But the amount of people that are celebrating this is shocking to me. Yeah, absolutely shocking. It shouldn't be, I guess, because that's the way of the world. And it's not just the amount of people; it's so many people that I know that I think are like reasonable, thoughtful, compassionate, civil human beings, and evidently they're not.
Did you see one of these people include a Carolina Panthers communications staffer?
I know that guy.
Do you? And you saw what he posted?
I did. Yeah. I did. It was so disgusting.
Yeah, and he lost his job.
Did he really think he could do that and keep his job?
Do any of them?
Yeah, obviously they do. This is how brainwashed so many people are, and they talk about the MAGA cult. This is just it's incredible that they think that they can post stuff like this and it's okay. Because, as I said yesterday, we all live in our information silos. Yeah. But if you still think that's okay, you're a sick human being. You are a effing sick human being. Anyway, this loser's name is Tyler Robinson. His dad and his minister turned him in once they saw the pictures. Do I have my doubts that this is the right guy? I don't know. I can't believe anything anybody puts out anymore, quite frankly. But it looks like they have a lot of visual evidence. They've got fingerprints. They've got a lot of they've got hard evidence against him. So, which of course they could obviously fabricate. We're not, I'm not sitting here thinking that everything that the FBI is going to tell me is true, because I know that's not the case in the past. So, yes, do I trust these folks a little bit more? I do. Well, a lot more, but I'm not going to be naive to think that without question, this is the guy. There's a lot of questions about this, so we need to learn more, but they feel like they got the guy, and we'll learn more about him, but we'll learn that he's been radicalized by a lot of things that are just not true about Charlie Kirk. And there's one thing we've learned over the last 48 hours, that everybody that hates Charlie Kirk doesn't know who he is. All the information that they've been fed, a bunch of edited, mostly comments and written things that were taken completely out of context. And that's what, that's where our media is at this point. And it's disgusting. We talked about this yesterday, and it's so hurtful to our society. It's created so many evil, horrible people that think that it's okay to go murder someone over their beliefs.
Just because they disagree with you.
Yeah, it's not okay. It's not okay. We need to be better. All right, Timmy's going to take it from here. I'm going to go hop on a plane and go to Chicago. Follow us on social media over the weekend. We're going to have a lot of fun at the Cubs game. Hopefully get a chance to chat with Kyle Tucker, our hometown hero, who's unfortunately on the injured list right now and won't be able to see him play. But looking forward to seeing my son, the great Cullen Peterson. I'll see you in a little bit, son, and enjoying any Chicago recommendations. Put them in the comments. Hit me up on social media. Always looking for great restaurants and bars in Chicago. All right, Timmy, you got it for the rest of the way?
Yeah, we're going to take our second break while you get out of here, JP.
All right, sounds good.
Yep.
We're brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance, by the way, 813-877-7799. Make sure you go over there and get your flood insurance, get your homeowner's insurance. Make sure you have enough homeowner's insurance, your business insurance, all your insurance needs. Let them do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com. See you Monday.
The Golden Diamond Source is working every day to be your family jeweler. Right now, a $5,000 engagement ring with 0% interest can be yours for just $83. So don't let the holidays sneak up on you this year. Now is the time to get ahead with their in-store layaway. Trade in your old jewelry for cash. Gold has never been higher. The Golden Diamond Source is offering the highest ever trade-in values for your gold and diamond jewelry. Now is the time to get your holiday shopping started. So come in now, relax, shop, and save at the Golden Diamond Source. We love Julie and Steve Weintraub, great local philanthropists, and you can find them at 3800 Omerton Road in Clearwater, where you'll always find the perfect gift, only at the Golden Diamond Source. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, are you going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show? It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES.
With this record heat in Tampa Bay, you better have your AC unit running at peak efficiency. Third Generation Plumbing installs the best American standard AC units. Our split systems offer the highest efficiency available while reducing energy bills and maximizing comfort. That's why Third Generation Plumbing trusts American standard air conditioning, built to last, made to perform. Whether it's a new install or an emergency repair, our family-owned team brings 3 generations of trusted service to your home. Now with the unmatched reliability of American Standard. Plumbing or cooling, we've got Tampa covered. Call Third Generation Plumbing today, 813-961-8024, or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. And we also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite. I love it. So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports, Dallas, Tampa Bay, Ohio. You guys checked out our new FanStream Sports website yet? It's pretty badass, not going to lie. I didn't program it or anything, but it's pretty good. You guys go check it out. We've got different pages, obviously, for your Tampa Bay fans, for your Dallas fans, for your Ohio Valley-based fans. Catering to you, and not just podcasts. We are endeavoring to put out written content, original written digital content for all of you guys. Y'all may know that I write for a number of sports outlets and have in the past, and trying to keep that going here now with FanStream Sports. So covering all the local teams in Florida, here in Dallas, all across Texas, college and pro, as well as up there in Ohio. To keep you guys informed and make FanStream Sports your one-stop shop for to consume your sports knowledge and sports information. So go check it out, fanstreamsports.com. We love you guys. Appreciate y'all's input as well on what you see. I thought we would get into real quick before I jet on out of here myself, because I'm really hungry, and pull the curtain back a little bit. Up until the point where JP just said Timmy's going to take it the rest of the way, I completely forgot that I was supposed to do this. I'm not going to lie, y'all. Because we had other plans for today. We had scheduled or attempted to schedule a pre-recorded interview with Scott Hansen from NFL Red Zone. And I turned that over to JP earlier in the week, and I said, we'll do that. I'll play that whenever you jet out early on Friday. And had not heard from JP, hadn't heard from Scott, hadn't heard from anybody. I completely just brain farted and forgot about all of it until literally right before the break when JP said, I'll take it the rest of the way. So here we are. A couple of things I did want to touch on, though. Of course, look, I know Micah Parsons is making an impact. He will have an impact on the Packers. He would have had an impact on the Cowboys. I just don't like the baggage that comes along with Micah Parsons. And you can take the salary out of it, all right? I think it's ridiculous to pay that guy that much money. Look, I think the best pass rusher in the game right now, Myles Garrett in Cleveland, he's overpaid and he's making 40. TJ Watt in Pittsburgh, 41. He's overpaid. Trey Hendrickson's going to be overpaid when he gets his long-term deal, but $47 million for Micah Parsons is a lot of money. And to expect one guy to have that big of an impact on your team to justify that amount of money is just asinine. It's ridiculous, I think. And you guys can let me know if you disagree. We'll get to comments here in a minute. So throw me under the bus if you want or whatever. Support me. I don't care. We're going to read it anyway. But just with the baggage, look, man, I've been here since Parsons was drafted. I've been around him at the Star. I've talked to him. I've talked to his teammates about him. And there is just a lot of under the table, behind the curtain baggage that comes with Micah Parsons. Now, will he be different in Green Bay? Maybe. I doubt it. It's going to start off all rainbows and sunshine for sure, like it is right now. It's the honeymoon. And that honeymoon may last for the Packers and for Micah Parsons throughout the season, wherever they go. And you know what? Now that Aaron Rodgers is out of Green Bay, I can kind of cheer for Green Bay again. I love Jordan Love. I still think he's going to be ultimately, maybe already is, the best quarterback to come out of that draft class. I was very high on him coming out of the draft. And I know he sat behind Rodgers for a while. But I'm sorry, I just cannot support Green Bay while Aaron Rodgers was their quarterback. I could not. As a matter of fact, I despised Green Bay because I despise Aaron Rodgers as a human being and a football player. But this honeymoon with Micah Parsons could very well last, throughout the season. And I think it's going to be a good season. But eventually, probably, Parsons will turn back to his true self, throwing teammates under the bus behind the scenes, taking credit for things that he had nothing to do with, and basically just being an irritant to the organization. Everybody blames Jerry Jones for this thing not working out, and he definitely deserves part of the blame. But here in Dallas, I will tell you, even the people who don't support Jerry Jones very often are placing a lot of the blame on Micah Parsons for this. He was not a fun guy to be around here for his teammates. Just his antics on the podcast, on other people's podcasts. He's got some family that were very outspoken on social media, not to the extent like of the Mahomes thing. But we've had his brother, Terrence, right here in this studio. We did a show with Terrence Parsons. And I was very uncomfortable doing that show because he was kind of a wreck. Just the way he talked about the organization. And, of course, he's Micah's brother. He's going to support his brother. But there's a lot of that here. There's a lot of that. And I just never been a fan of that, to be honest with you. I called for the trade as soon as I knew there was something brewing between Jerry and Micah. I'm like, well, then just get rid of him. Please don't re-sign him. I wanted him to play this year because he was under contract. But I was okay, just like I was okay with Luka being gone. It's probably okay with Micah being gone a little more, but I was okay with that. And I love that he went to the Packers. I love that he went to a good team that wasn't the Eagles, because everybody hates the Eagles. But I think I was okay with everything. And I wish the Packers well. I don't hate Micah. I'm just glad he's not in Dallas. And yes, he's going to have an impact on the defense. He's going to help that defense probably be elite now, which is good, man. Again, I support Jordan Love. I love Matt LaFleur. I've been to Green Bay. I've been to Lambeau Field. I've been arrested and kicked out of Lambeau Field before. It's a story for another day. But for those of you that are saying, and I don't remember who said it in the comments, I'm sure it was in jest, why weren't the Bucs in play? Trust me, you don't want that. You don't want that in Tampa Bay. Jason Light has built a culture with the Buccaneers within that organization of family, of friendship, of love, of loyalty. And Micah Parsons would have destroyed all of that. Maybe not in year one, but it would have happened, and you would have had the same issues in Tampa Bay that you had in Dallas, that you're going to have in Green Bay. And number two, don't pay a linebacker $47 million ever. I don't care who it is. Jason Light's a lot smarter than that, and trust me. Hassan Reddick's going to, now look, Hassan Reddick's not Micah Parsons. I'm not saying this. Hassan Reddick will have an impact on this defense as the season goes on. It's already happened against Atlanta. So Micah Parsons in Tampa Bay would not have been a good thing for a number of reasons. A lot of those I just outlined. Comments wise, guys, appreciate y'all hanging with us here on my surprise solo hosting of JP's show. Nathan, I don't think we got to all these. Nathan said hello, the Texas man, Tim Ham. Yep, that's me. Louis Frozen Pirate Pod, he's chimed in here a couple of times. Nathan, Lonnie. I don't know where JP's going to be at Wrigley. I don't know if he answered that on the air here. I might have tuned out for a couple of minutes like I do every show as I'm trying to produce things and run things here. I'm not sure, but I bet if you reached out to him, he would tell you. Kenneth McCleary. Sorry, Kenneth. My big worry about the game Monday night is Houston doing what Atlanta did, throwing those quick passes. That always seems to work well against Tampa Bay. That works well against most defenses, but it's not an offensive scheme that's very easy to orchestrate. You got to have the right personnel to do that. You got to have the right quarterback to do that. And I'm not sure that's the case here. Let's see. Head high swell. I'd love to hear from a defensive player coach on how the Bucs concealing their O-line change may have benefited them. I mean, I think we saw it during the game. The biggest way it benefited them was that it was just a stronger offensive line than what you might have thrown out there before. For sure. Rick, new Yugo motor sold separately. Man, that's about right. He also wanted to know when John Morgan coached the Seminoles. What's everybody's opinion of John Morgan out there? I know he's a bigwig attorney, Democratic supporter, fundraiser, all that stuff. I'm not familiar with him being here in Texas. So you guys want to throw out your John Morgan opinions, by all means, for sure. By the way, yeah, Danny Boy Kane was on the show yesterday talking Miami. He reposted the stream. I got a note here about it. Thank you on X, Danny Boy. I'm not sure what was better from Danny Boy Kane's appearance yesterday. If it was the knowledge he spouted out as a fan, as a podcaster, or if it was just how relaxed and chill he was during the whole thing, sitting back in his chair. I thought he was going to fall over backwards there for a couple of times. It was pretty good. Not going to lie, Danny Boy Kane, you're welcome back on the show whenever you would like to. Yeah, Yeezy, I agree with you. I know we covered this comment earlier. Like I said, he'll have an impact. I just don't like the stuff that comes with the impact. And I don't know that he'll have the impact everybody thinks he will. Yes, he will have an impact. Dude, he's not going to get 10 sacks in Green Bay this year. It's not going to happen. Definitely not going to happen. Cole, my old high school teammate, CJ Daniels, is going to tear my alma mater up tomorrow. All right. Don't know if I'm happy or sad. All right. Fair enough. Richie P, Miami will do Miami things. The difference will be coaching. We all know that Cristobal has been guilty of coaching malpractice, and I think Gullis will get the best of him in the end. Man, I can't disagree with any of that. I think Cristobal is a huge, huge X factor. Which version of Cristobal are you going to get? You going to get the coach that Miami thought that they hired? Or are you going to get the Cristobal that seems to make the worst coaching decisions in the history of college football at whatever stop he's been at from time to time? Yeah, that's a great point, man, and I don't disagree. Are we all, unless you're a specific Miami fan or a specific Bulls fan, are you like, which one are you cheering for? If you're just impartial, if you're indifferent, or do you even care? I don't know. Let's ask that question. Nathan says DC Comics fired a comic book writer, Gretchen Felker Martin, and canceled her Red Hood series after one issue because her social media post. Look it up. Oh, I can only imagine. She was posting some really messed up comments about Charlie Kirk's assassination. Well, you know what? I don't know. I discussed this yesterday. I don't know why people think that's okay. To condone, to publicly approve of, to applaud the death of another human being. Especially someone you have different viewpoints than, different political beliefs. And so where does it stop? Is this going to bleed over to sports? If you're a Dodgers fan and you read an article somewhere that a Giants fan got hit by a car and was killed, are you going to start posting, hey, I'm glad. Hey, thanks for whoever was driving that car. I mean, that's a little bit of an extreme, but I mean, it's not nearly any more ridiculous than what we're going through right now. Because someone believes differently than you, let's go applaud their death and put it out there on social media. And look, we are, I've said this before. I don't know if I said it on this show. This is America. We have free speech. You can literally say whatever you want, whenever you want. You are free to do that. And that's part of why it's one of the greatest countries on the planet and why people die and sacrifice their lives for you to have that right. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences, guys. You can say whatever you want, but you better be prepared for the consequences of you doing so. And some of these people, I guess they think their social media post is worth losing their jobs over or worth the backlash that you're going to get on social media. Again, you can say whatever you want. Good for you. But you better be prepared for the consequences. And if it's worth it, well, then you're probably a horrible person. Just saying. Robert Brooks told JP, have fun, safe travels. Daniel, one of the better pizzas in the Dallas area is actually in McKinney called Cadillac Pizza. That pizza might be thin, but very filling. Daniel, I go to Cadillac Pizza probably 3 to 4 times a month. McKinney is about, 20 minutes away from where I live in Little Elm, Frisco. They've usually got some good live music going there on the weekends. It's right off the square in the historic downtown McKinney, and it is very, very good. I agree 100%. I'm glad you brought that up, Daniel. As a matter of fact, I'm supposed to be there Tuesday night to meet up with some friends. Richie P, I hate to see what happened to Charlie. While I don't agree with many of his opinions, I mean, some of them had merit. The majority never held up against a knowledgeable debater. That is true. He was very well spoken, chose his words well. And it always, people like Charlie Kirk. Again, I'm not going on his beliefs or anything. Not saying I agree or disagree with anything that he stood for, because I try not to get political here, maybe a little bit, but just people like that who can debate, who can speak eloquently and knowledgeably like that with no notes, literally off the top of their head. And in that type of situation, they're way smarter than me. And those people have always impressed me. Like, to be able to just start spouting stuff off like that. Like, what? Where did you pull that out of your ass from? Like, it's people like that impress me. I'm definitely not like that. I wish I was, but those are smart people. Christopher Cole, what happened to JP? JP just quit the show. He said, screw y'all. As a matter of fact, his exact words, I believe, right before he walked off the set.
F you, F you, F you, and F you. Peace out. I'm going to go have a Guinness.
Just kidding. Of course, JP is headed to Chicago to go see his kid and watch the Rays and the Cubs play. So he's got to catch a plane. So he bolted early, sticking you guys with me. Yes. Thank you, Nathan, for answering Christopher Cole before I could get to it. Mark Breslow, corned beef and pastrami both are brisket. That is correct. They are brined and cured. What's different is how they are spiced and cooked. Corned beef is boiled while pastrami is smoked. Pastrami, very pepper forward, 100%. See, all the things I was trying to say when I was trying to describe them, I just didn't have the words. Thank you, Mark Breslow. And look, I like both corned beef and pastrami. A Reuben sandwich is one of my favorite sandwiches in the whole world. If I try a new deli sandwich place and I'm not talking about like Subway or Jersey Mike's or something like that. It's an actual deli. The first thing I will try and judge that place by is their Reuben. And occasionally, when I make Reubens at home, and I do that frequently, I do it with pastrami. But then I'm loyal to the rest of the recipe. That's just the way I like to do it. But again, I like both. Daniel says Texas is known for meat and brisket specifically. They don't fool around with their steaks in Texas. That is 100%. Nathan, you've been to Cadillac Pizza, really? Very cool, man. Next time you're in Dallas, let me know. So we talked about Micah Parsons. Before we wrap, I'll tell you what, we're going to take JP's last break because I don't want sponsors to get mad at me here, because that's very possible. So we're going to take the last break here for JP's show and then come back on the other side. A little bit more Bucs Texans talk for you. And then I'm probably going to hit the road a little bit early because I'm hungry. It's 10:30 here local time. I'm already hungry. I didn't have breakfast. I got to the studio at 6 a.m. this morning. I got my dog with me. In case y'all don't know, I bring my dog with me to the studio every day. Maybe I'll introduce him on the other side. More JP Peterson Show with IndyCar Tim. Back after this.
JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. That's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour. As well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced, generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucs play. We'll see you there. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience Advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. JP here for my friend Jason Fawcett, owner of On-Site Construction. They do residential and commercial renovations and new construction. As a leading home builder and general contractor, On-Site Construction prides itself on transforming homes through superior craftsmanship, dedication to client vision, and an unmatched commitment to quality and service. It's about building relationships. We take the time to understand our clients' needs, preferences, and budgets so that we can deliver a personalized experience tailored to their unique vision. From the initial designs to the final touches, we're there every step of the way, ensuring that the end result mirrors your vision. Here are some testimonials from happy customers. G. Gibson says, no hidden costs, very honest, reliable, creative, and communicates well. Reasonable and fair with their pricing, no hidden costs. C. Smith said, did not disappoint. I'm very happy with the work. This company really cares and will take care of it. So if you're just thinking about building or renovating, Give us a call and let's see what's possible. 813-579-5789 or check out our website at onsiteconstructionfl.com. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine, and DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine, and DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports. I'm IndyCar Tim in for JP Peterson, who is traveling, as he seems to always do. God travels more than anybody, I think, I know, to various sporting events and some such. Yes, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Big shout out. I don't have all his reads and stuff, but we will give a shout out to Riveters, Italiano Insurance, and Golden Diamond Source, On-Site Construction, Third Generation Plumbing, Cafe Paradiso. And I do need to go get me some Cafe Paradiso. Bay Area Modern Medical Center, don'tgouncovered.com, Genesis of Tampa, and of course, Jeeves Law Group and Kingmakers for sure. I think I covered everybody there. If I missed you, that's my fault. Don't be mad at JP. So look, I'm going to experiment with something here real quick, y'all. I'm going to see if I can do this because I think I've been talking about doing this for a little while here, is I'm going to attempt to bring myself in on my phone. How do you like that? Because I know I've been promising. Hang on. There. I've sort of been promising to give you guys a tour of the studio here in Dallas. So we're going to, can I do it that way? Ooh, look at that. All right. Well, look, we're going to go full screen here. I'll even take this stuff off of the screen. Damn, Gina, look at that. All right. So I want to give you guys a quick tour of the studio. I think I can hear myself on the phone as I leave. There's my command post, y'all, in case you wondered. There's the great Tolo, the puppy, the good puppy dog. Comes with me every day. But yeah, no, here's the command post from the JP show. That is our new awesome remote control camera that we have in Ohio and Dallas. JP, we're afraid that JP probably will break it, so we haven't gotten him yet. There's some of the TVs I get to watch while I'm in the studio here. Don't be mad at my Saints banner because that's where I grew up. And that's actually from 1977, I believe. I had that when I was a kid. I had to bring it to the studio with me, but yeah, here we go. So now, hopefully you can still, I think you can still hear me. This is our wall of fame. We've got people that have come in that have signed. Oh yeah, there's Terrence Parsons' signature, Micah's brother. Here's our FanStream Sports show lineup for all three. There's your Tampa Bay show lineup, Dallas, and Ohio on the other side. And if you look very closely, I don't know if it shows up here, this whiteboard actually has our DSP Media, which is the parent company of FanStream Sports, kind of in a watermark in the background. It's really, really cool. There's our production room, which is also my coffee room, my morning coffee every day. There you go. We do shows out of here occasionally. We also produce when we're not in the studio in there. We'll do it in here. There's the video of what we're looking at right now. Blah, blah, blah. Go America. TaylorMade, our old DSP Media sign that used to be behind our stage. Stars won the Stanley Cup in 1999. Yeah, that's the last time we had a win. Their only win in franchise history. But yeah, here's the room. Deep Eddy Vodka, local sponsor. Happy Dad Seltzer's local sponsor. Angry Orchard, a local sponsor. And boys, there is, let's get this out of the way. They're not a sponsor. There is your Jaeger machine.
guys want me to do a shot of Jaeger? Let's do a shot of Jaeger. All right, here we go. So there you go, mini fridge, beer keg. We got Miller Lite. We're out of Shock Top Belgian White, but that was in there. Some of our Tomstown liquor. And there you go. Back down the hallway.
So there you go. What do y'all think of that? How was that? Was that just a waste of time, or did y'all enjoy that? Trying to think of a way to utilize the phone cam in other ways on JP's show. Could have taken you through a tour of the building, the stairs I fell down when we first moved in 3 years ago. The stairs that I have used, I think I can count on one hand the number of times I've been on those stairs, including falling down. Because I always use the elevator. Yes, we're on the second floor. It's literally one flight of stairs. But I hate stairs. I hate walking, as you can probably tell by my athletic body. So there you go. There's the studio. Let's talk. Looking at comments here. Gedeke is out again. Michael LaRue. So he's been ruled out. I haven't seen that, but I cannot confirm nor deny that for sure. I feel like I need to turn the phone thing off here. Might be getting some feedback. Leaf Studio. There you go. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed that. I just sort of figured that out on the fly. Yeah, I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me. Daniel, you need to add SMU to that list. Explain what list you're talking about. I do cover SMU being here in Dallas. We don't have a specific show for LSU yet, or for SMU yet, but we are working on it. Nathan Elliott, you have an Aints pendant and a clown boy flag. Raise your standards, Tim. Well, we are in Dallas, Nathan Elliott. So yes, we have the Cowboys flag. I actually have a hat I didn't show y'all hanging in between my Rangers and Cowboys flag. That is an original new era baseball cap from Super Bowl 30 that I think I've worn one time, but we hung it up here in the studio. But yeah, I have that. Nobody said anything about my Quebec Nordiques throwback pennant over here. Of course, they are now the Colorado Avalanche. But yeah, man, I go way back with my fandom with some of these. David Terry, Badass Studio. Cheers. Thank you very much. Responsibly, Tim. You have some fun coffee and drink options. Yeah, I do. We pride ourselves. Oh, on the Dallas list. Yes. No, we are covering SMU, Daniel, for sure. We'll have written previews. Head over to FanStream Sports. That's going to start this week with our SMU covers. We'll have a preview of their game this week and then a recap. And I'm trying to get a pod started as soon as I can secure sponsorship for it for our SMU Mustangs Daily Blitz podcast here on FanStream Sports Dallas. Nathan at Buccaneer website and posted an injury report today. It shows Gedeke did not practice. Nothing about out. Okay. So yeah, if you don't practice on Friday, even if you don't have an injury designation for Monday, just remember this is not a Sunday game. It's a Monday game. So he's not officially out, but it's not a good sign that he did not practice on Friday, for sure. So speaking of Monday, let's talk a little bit about the Texans. As of course, we know the 2 years ago Texans and CJ Stroud's first season, Nick Caserio, the GM, went out and spent about $150 million on the offensive line in front of CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, of course, Ohio State Buckeyes fame. And when a Buckeyes quarterback comes out to the NFL, I never predict anything good because they simply don't usually perform well. It does not translate. Dwayne Haskins more recently. If you want to throw CJ Stroud in there, he didn't have a great year last year. Justin Fields. Mike Tomczak, is he the greatest quarterback ever in the NFL to come out of Ohio State? He might be. I don't know. But I certainly saw regression in CJ Stroud's 2024. And a lot of that, as JP pointed out earlier, is the failure of the offensive line. In 2023, when he had his fantabulous NFL season, that was because he had protection. Like I said, Caserio went and made sure that C.J. Stroud had protection up front. Well, that failed in 2024, and he had a regression. The entire team had a regression last year. This team in 2025 is more similar to that 2024 team. They still don't have any help along the offensive line. They've traded some of those guys to get out of those massive contracts that Caserio signed them to. And this offensive line is very susceptible, which means that C.J. Stroud is going to be very susceptible. This offense is not great. Joe Mixon is still out. Replaced by former Cleveland Brown fan favorite Nick Chubb, who is still kind of recovering from injury, as he seems to have been his whole career. Last season, he had just 60 yards. Nico Collins, your star receiver, because Tank Dell is still out, recovering from his injury last year. Nico Collins, 3 catches, 25 yards in the opener. I don't know that I'm worried about the Houston Texans. And I know when we talked about it earlier in the week, I called for a Texans win. In the offseason, I called for a Texans win because I said the Bucs would be 2-2 going into through the first month of the season. I thought Atlanta would be the win. Texans would be a loss, I thought for sure. But, man, now after looking at this team on paper and after watching them play last week, man, they're just not good. And I know I talked about the trend, the stat. They're 0-7 all-time in Houston. They were 0-4 against the Houston Oilers, and now they're 0-3 against the Texans. As JP said, so what? That doesn't mean anything. And you're right, it doesn't mean anything. But after seeing this team on paper and seeing some of this stuff that I was able to see that we didn't get to see in the offseason and preseason, dude, this team, I don't think this team's very good. I love D'Amico Ryans. I think he's a fabulous head coach. He's a great defensive mind. They've had changes to the offensive coordinator. Bobby Slowick is gone. So that has not helped C.J. Stroud at all. And I think that offensive line is very susceptible. You could have you could have Vita Vea and Hassan Reddick having very, very big days, I think, against the Texans. And I am now calling for a Buccaneers win on Monday night. And you know what? I'll even go as far as to say, let's go Buccaneers 31, Texans 17. What do you think of that? Does that sound realistic to you guys? What are y'all's picks here? As we got a few minutes left here at the end of the show. If y'all want to throw your score predictions for Bucs Texans. And by the way, can we talk about the name Texans for a little bit and make fun of how ridiculous and stupid that is? And look, for those of you in Florida that have never been in Texas, don't know anything about Texas football or the history, we had a Dallas Texans football team, part of the original AFL back in 1960. So the NFL refused Dallas an NFL expansion team throughout the 50s. And in 1960, local business group tried to get one, and they said no. So the AFL, as they were forming, swooped in and said, hey, we'll put a team in Dallas for y'all. The AFL Dallas Texans. They played here in Dallas. And, of course, after that happened, then the NFL's like, oh, crap, no, we got to go get the market. So that's why we have the Dallas Cowboys. Their offices and practice facilities for 3 seasons were literally across the street from each other, actually not far from where our studio is here. The Dallas Texans were by far the more successful of the 2 franchises, as the Cowboys struggled really through most of the 60s until 66, when they lost to the Packers in the Ice Bowl, the NFL championship game. But it was the Texans who jumped town. Lamar Hunt, the owner, moved them to Kansas City to rename them the Kansas City Chiefs. So there's where your Chiefs come from, and that is your tie, the Chiefs' tie to Texas and to the Dallas area. But I say that because, look, that was 1960. Okay, we're not as creative with sports names and things like that. I get it. But when Houston announced a new franchise to replace the Oilers, who are now the Titans, I know they had all of that, like most teams do. They probably had a fan poll or whatever, and I don't know where they came up with the name Texans. But can we just talk about how ridiculous it is to name a team in Texas the Texans? It's like if you had a new pro team in California and you called them the Californians. Or if you started a new team in Florida and you just called them the Floridians. Hey, we're the Orlando Floridians. It's ridiculous. It's a stupid name. And they have stupid uniforms and they have stupid colors. I hate the Texans, by the way, in case y'all can't. I hate everything in Houston. Houston is, I call it quite often, a lot of people call it the armpit of Texas. The armpit of Texas is Pasadena, which is a suburb of Houston. Houston is the crotch of Texas. It is miserable. There's nothing good about the city of Houston. A lot of people talk about the food. Okay, you can get good food all over Texas. It's nothing special. The people suck. The traffic sucks. The city sucks. Everything about Houston sucks. And now they have the worst, maybe the worst name in all of the NFL for their team, the Texans. That's such a give up, you guys. Nathan Elliott, 24-20, Bucs win. Sorry, I had to go on my Texans rant because the Bucs are about to play them. Michael LaRue says Penix had 48 dropbacks, 6 scrambles versus 22 running back runs. Penix had only 6.9 yards in the air per attempt versus 10 last year. Same Bulls defense of death by 1,000 paper cuts, no aggressiveness. I will tell you this, Michael LaRue. I don't think the Texans are as good as the Falcons. And I don't think the Falcons are that good. So now they always play the Bucs. Again, division game. They're always going to play the Bucs tight. But yeah, again, after what I've watched of the Texans this year so far, some stuff I watched in the preseason, I'm not scared. I ain't scared. And you shouldn't be either. Nathan Elliott, what do you call Brownsville, Texas? I call that the taint of Texas because it's literally where the taint would be on a person. I have been to Brownsville. There's actually nothing wrong with Brownsville. It's just, it's too close to Mexico. It's literally right across the Rio Grande from Mexico on the bottom tip of Texas. It's not good. Douglas Batista, Tim saw a couple of Cowboys games in the old stadium in Irving. I remember a great atmosphere in that place, an open roof for God to look down on the Cowboys. Yeah, that was always a joke. Why does Texas Stadium have a hole in the roof? So God can watch his favorite team win on Sundays, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. I'll also tell you this. Texas Stadium opened in 1971, the same year I was born. And we moved here to Dallas in 1973 from the southern Louisiana area where I was born. And my dad took me to games throughout the 70s, watching those Super Bowl teams, Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett, Charlie Waters. I can name the entire lineup for about 10 years of early Cowboys. That stadium was always a toilet. There was nothing good about that stadium either. It was an open air, supposed to be an open air stadium. So you had from the top row, kind of like what SoFi is now, where it was enclosed, but it was open air, right? There was no air conditioning. I mean, in LA, you don't really need it. But here, you had a huge gap from the bottom of the roof line to the top of the structure, plus the hole in the roof for air to flow through the stadium. Well, very quickly, they realized, oh, crap, we don't have enough luxury suites. We can't make money. So they built all the luxury suites up around that roof line and enclosed that open air part of the roof line so that it was just sweltering. And literally the only open air you had was what could come in the roof. And when they'd shoot fireworks and stuff off in the stadium, dude, that smoke never dissipated anywhere. Even if it was windy outside, it would hover. And that told you the air was not moving. It was like kicking in a dome because there was never any air movement. It was hot. You know, by the time even the 80s rolled around, when it's only like 15 years old, it was just a toilet. The plumbing didn't work. It was so bad. By comparison, one of my favorite stadiums in the NFL, Arrowhead Stadium, where the Chiefs, ex-Texans used to be, that was built and opened the same year. And it is still 54 years later, a relevant stadium in the NFL. I know they're talking about replacing it. But it's 50 years old. I get it now. But you shouldn't have had to replace it at like 35 years, which is what you had to do with Texas Stadium before they built the new AT&T Stadium, which, by the way, as luxurious as it is, it's still a toilet to me. I can't stand. We call it the Death Star here. I can't stand it. The press box is nice. We're treated like kings in the press box. Prime rib carving station every game. Food is amazing. Drinks are amazing. But as a stadium as a whole, I hate it for lots of reasons. Douglas Batista, yeah, he said he was there for the Deion days. Yeah, in the mid-'90s. Yeah, for our Super Bowl years. I would go to it too. Did I cry or shed a tear or anything when they tore it down, when they blew it up in 2009? Nope, sure did not. As a matter of fact, I was there to watch it, and I was cheering it. Little did I know the replacement was just as bad, or I probably wouldn't have done that. All right, boys and girls, that's going to do it for us, for me. I appreciate you guys bearing with me here for the last 40 minutes or so. You got a great tour of the Dallas studio. If you guys are ever in the Dallas area, give me a shout. Be happy to give you the hand tour here. Ooh, hand tour. That probably didn't come out right. The hands-on tour of the studio. We'll do some Jaeger shots. We'll have a beer, have some vodka. I got Red Bull and Sprite in the fridge in there. We'll have a little party, watch some football. I'm here usually on Saturdays watching a different college football game on every TV we have in the studio. We host watch parties here all the time for the fans here in Dallas. You guys are always welcome to come hang out with us for sure. But it was a great week. Appreciate you guys being here, working through me. We'll be back. JP and Nick will be back on Monday to talk more Bucs Texans, the day of the game. And then JP and I will be back on Tuesday to discuss the Buccaneers win right here on the JP Peterson Show on FanStream Sports. I'm Eddie Cartim for JP, boys and girls. Until next time, we'll see you.